Welcome back to the Ross Bolin podcast presented by Bolin Media. I'm Ross Bolin, 37-year-old dad / stepdad, human caretaker to 4 dogs, and my back hurts today. I'm joined by a man of many names, but today we'll call him Stripper Kade. Kade, say hello to the people.
Hello, people.
You may or may not be aware, but our beloved producer / co-host Kade Orris has been forced to take odd jobs on the side because not enough of you are fulfilling your legal obligations and supporting our show on patreon.com/Ross Bolin podcast. One such odd job that Kade has embraced is being a scantily clad manservant at bachelorette parties. And on last week's Patreon episode, Kade announced that he would once again be transforming into the man, the myth, the legend known as Stripper Kade. We're just going to let you hear the first 10 minutes or so of last week's Patreon episode now to fill you in. Enjoy. Welcome. Hello. Happy Friday to all. I got a fortune cookie.
We're just getting right into it.
Got a fortune cookie here, Kade, from
right.
our Chinese lunch that we just had. And I'm going to open mine up. These are interesting fortune cookies, first of all. Because
yeah, they're like multicolored.
Half chocolate, half regular fortune cookie, I'm assuming is what's happening here.
Well, then what's the orange?
That's a good question. I don't know. It's a racially ambiguous fortune cookie. And mine reads, this is my fortune, your greatest purpose is to live life. It says your greatest purpose is to live a life of purpose. Wow.
Deep.
Yeah, gotta love that. What you got going on over there?
Mine says your friends will bring color and vibrancy to your world.
Oh, vibrancy. Everybody's
That's what I'm
seeking
looking for.
vibrancy. Yeah, that's huge for
in
you,
my
dude.
world, it's some more vibrance, and
That's
color.
Extremely big for you. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations on your friends. No mention of friends in my fortune.
No.
Yeah, we're back. What do you got going on this weekend, Kade?
Some big news, actually, potentially.
Is this your big announcement that you've queued up?
Yeah, this is my big announcement.
Okay, let me move that in the rundown. Go ahead.
Stripper Kade might be back.
No.
Yeah, tomorrow.
No, what do you mean maybe? What do you mean might be?
So, oh no, it's been a little weird. I've been talking to my stripper friend, CJ.
Okay. Did you run into him at the gym?
No, he just texted me last Sunday, actually, and he said, yo, want a gig.
Want a gig.
Want a gig.
Okay.
Obviously, that means,
Yeah. Some work.
Bachelorette party. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, when is it? He said next Saturday. And originally, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it because one of my friends was going to have like a birthday party thing, like on a boat or something at night.
Okay.
And I wanted to make sure I was there for that. So I was texting.
Got to support your friends. They're going to bring vibrancy to your life.
Color. Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, we'll be done before 7:30. He's like, no can do. So I had to text my friend. I'm like, hey, would it be okay if I, missed out on the birthday party and meet up with you after? And she was okay with it, but she ended up moving it to Monday anyway, so I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Cool. So that went out of play.
Yeah.
All
so right. I just ended up texting. I'm like, yeah, I'll still do it.
Wait, hold on. Pause.
Yeah.
She ended up moving it to Monday.
Yeah. So she's doing this boat thing for a couple of hours where they're just gonna be champagne.
On a fucking Monday?
Yeah.
How old is she turning? 20?
20? No, mid-20s. I don't know.
She's an adult in the functioning adult world?
Yeah. Well, she
with a fucking birthday party on a Monday?
Well, I think that's actually her birthday.
Okay.
And she wanted to do a Saturday, but she didn't book it in time, so she couldn't
Just a psychotic move, though.
Yeah, I know.
Hey guys, we're all gonna get drunk on a boat on Monday night. Okay. All right. So boat thing is Monday now. Mm-hmm. So you go back to CJ.
Yep. I go back to CJ. I'm like, all right, I'm in. Then he sends me an application to fill out, assuming
from who even?
From the company he works for.
Okay.
Because we've covered this before. The Butlers and the Buff.
Oh yeah. So it's like a legit,
Yeah, it's a legit business. It's not. Yeah.
They pay taxes and shit.
Exactly. Yeah. So I thought this was just gonna be another can you fill in for me type thing.
No, this is a full blown application.
Yeah. Which it's not really much of an application. It's really just your name, where you want to work, your height, your waist size, and then you have to put in 2 pictures, a headshot and then an upper body shot.
Like a shirtless upper body shot?
It didn't specify, but I'm assuming that's what they wanted. So I literally had to like take a mirror pic.
I mean, it's definitely what they want. The company is Butlers in the Buff.
Yeah,
they gotta have,
you're gonna be.
They gotta have
ass
buff
out.
butlers.
Yeah, and
your waist size.
Yeah,
like for the. I'm assuming for like the skimpy outfit.
Yeah,
they
the
provide
thong.
you with. Yeah.
So I filled that out. He also said to put him down as a referral, and he'll fast track me. I didn't see anywhere to put him down as a referral. So I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking
You
about.
just should have written in like, I know CJ.
I know CJ.
Yeah.
Everyone knows CJ.
Everybody knows him.
So I told him I applied. And then he didn't like say anything. And I wasn't even sure if like the application went through because I didn't get like an email or anything from the company.
No confirmation?
Yeah. But then he just texted me like right before we started recording, like, you still ready for tomorrow? So I guess it's still happening.
Did you say I don't know if I'm ready? Because I didn't get a fucking like what?
Yeah, I'm so confused, but like,
So did you have to go through their website to do the application?
no, he just sent me a link for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm on their website. It does say we are hiring, and that's a new section. The original Butlers in the Buff, North America. Mm-hmm. It says the demand for butlers is back. We are
never been higher.
we are urgently seeking butlers who are approachable, attractive, down to earth, and in great shape. If this sounds like you and you would like to be part of the team, our shifts are short, tons of fun, and lucrative. Apply today.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I don't want it to be like a full like side job. I just want it to be like
A one-time thing.
a little pop in here and there,
Yeah.
get a few $100 and like go on with my day.
Well, maybe they just need to have you in the system for like insurance purposes, in case if like a butler gets murdered, they need the butler to be in their system.
Yeah, on their payroll, all that.
Yeah.
So makes sense. But yeah, I never heard anything back from that. But apparently, like, I'm still doing it. Also, like,
He didn't provide you with any other details?
no
Just you
details.
Want a
whatsoever.
gig?
Yeah.
Fucking CJ, man.
See, I know, and I think he's on vacation right now. Actually, I know he's on vacation right now, so that's like why I'm filling in for him. But
So he's not even going to be there.
no, so I'm filling in for him. So I'm CJ tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I guess if I do like end up like being in their system or whatever, then I need like my own stripper name.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you finally have to come up with your own identity.
Yeah. So
Can't just be CJ anymore.
Might need the RBP gang to workshop some ideas. It can't be Cade though. It can't have Cade in the name. It can't be my own name.
Okay, so none of the suggestions we get through the hotline today are going to be helpful.
No, not really. I mean, they're great. They're all great suggestions, but like I can't use my real name.
Yeah.
In that situation, unfortunately. I mean, it could still be like a C or a K name. It just no.
What about Kenny?
Kenny.
You kind of look like you could be a Kenny. There's not a lot of Kennys.
There aren't. No, not too many.
Not anymore.
No.
No young Kenneths out there. I feel like that name. Well, 'cause that's what Kenny's short for Kenneth, right?
Right. Yeah.
Kenneth Falk? Who's Kenneth Falk? Have we done this before? I just had deja vu.
With same. I look like a Kenny.
Or me trying to figure out who Kenneth Falk is.
I don't know about.
He's a character in Liar Liar.
Okay.
He's the jacked guy that's banging the woman. Anyway, moving on. Back to that. Okay, so you got a gig tomorrow.
Yeah. Don't know what time. Don't know where. Don't have the uniform.
No information.
No information. So I guess I just text him like, yeah, I'm ready.
How do you know he's on vacation?
Because I follow him on Instagram.
Where is he?
I have no idea where he is, but like,
it's like a beach or like.
I haven't seen any of the destination. All I've seen is him at the airport, and then him like at his hotel or whatever, and he's like trying to give like a tip or like a hack for like the showers at hotels because apparently like the water pressure at least like the one he's at is like really shitty.
Okay.
And it's like, oh, if you like remove the sink, then it, like we'll be fine.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so that's like what I've been seeing.
He's removing the guard
the fun
on
stopper,
the fun stopper on the hotel shower.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess
I can't get enough of the Butlers in the Buff website, dude. It says what to expect.
Yeah.
And then it has a list of things to expect: party starters, bartender, snack fetcher, party game host, towel fetcher, life
pools.
drawing model. It says
life
that
drawing model.
life drawing model.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. I'm assuming they mean that you will stand there and allow yourself to be drawn like a French girl.
In the nude, yeah.
Yeah, I really don't. It also says tidy upper, Spotify DJ, Cabana Boy, lotion applicator, surprise door greeter, and choice of uniforms. Then it says what not to expect.
Oh, no.
What not to expect. Stripper, adult entertainer, driver, babysitter, grocery shopper, and errand boy.
Damn, I keep calling me a stripper.
Couldn't they have put so many more things? Like, if you're putting driver and babysitter on the what not to expect list, shouldn't it also say things like doctor, lawyer? You know what I mean? Just like
astronaut.
all the other professions that you're not going to be.
As like a doctor if
That's
you want
true,
to,
yeah.
or like an astronaut, fireman. Like, so I think that's like fair game still.
God, I would love to interview the person who has like started this company. But it's in 4 or 5 countries.
Yeah.
The UK, Ireland, Australia, USA, Canada, 30 locations and growing. The nation's #1 for over 20 years, it says.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if I'm going to be like doing it solo or like with someone. And like, that's a whole nother.
It's not even close to enough information to get me on board.
Yeah.
Want a gig, fill out this application, no response. You still good for tomorrow. And that's it.
No, there's no information.
That's it. Unbelievable.
But I also kind of just want to say fuck it and just see what happens.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're locked in at this point. You're CJ.
I am CJ.
You're CJ. Okay, well.
So, yeah. Maybe,
so that's what you got going on this weekend?
Yeah, potentially a huge Patreon episode to, fill everyone in with
I
what
can't
happened.
fucking wait.
Yeah.
I hope it goes well.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're back in the present. It is Monday afternoon. And Kade, you did in fact put on your Stripper Kade uniform over the weekend and service a party. Is that correct?
That is correct. Stripper Kade was out last weekend.
Just tell us about the outfit then.
The outfit?
We're going to talk about the rest of the story later, but what did you wear?
Oh, see, that's some juicy details. I mean, like,
You want to save that?
Well, it's kind of a little different this time, but usually what I wear is I have an apron on,
but it's a bottom only apron.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So it's just covering, the
upper
goods.
body is nude.
Very nude. Yeah. Have some cufflinks on that you just button up.
Like a fancy
butler.
Like a sexy butler.
A sexy butler. Yes. I have a bow tie on too.
Very necessary.
And a thong. Essentially is what my outfit consists of.
When you say essentially, what do you mean? It's a thong.
Yeah, it is.
It's just a
thong, yeah.
A man thong.
Yeah.
Can I ask, this time, did you at least get your own thong?
Oh, that's part of the juicy details.
We'll get to that then.
Yes.
If you want the third installment, because this is the third time now that Kade has done this, that he's gone and become Stripper Kade, go support our show by subscribing on patreon.com/Ross Bolin Podcast now. And this week's episode, which we are recording tomorrow on Friday, we will hear all about the latest shenanigans of Stripper Kade. As you could tell from the Patreon episode clip we just played for you, a lot was up in the air when we talked about this last week. I have prohibited Kade from sharing any details of what went on this weekend with me until we are recording. So I will be hearing it all for the first time along with you on patreon.com/Ross Bolin Podcast this week. So go subscribe. There's a 7-day free trial. Even if you're just like, you know what? I don't want to be on Patreon, but I want to hear this story. There's a 7-day free trial. You can go take advantage of that, subscribe, hear this week's episode, and bounce if it's not entertaining enough for you.
And go back and listen to the other 2 episodes where we talked about it too.
I think you could just search on patreon.com/Ross Bolin Podcast. Once you're subscribed, just search Stripper Kade on our page, and you'll see the other 2 times we've, discussed these exploits.
I cover like the whole event both times. They're some of my favorite episodes I've done. One of them, J-Bone was on the pod too. So it was like the first time I ever did it. And like we got a good laugh out of it. So just catch you up on my Stripper Kade journey.
Yeah,
go to Patreon.
It's been quite a saga.
It really has.
One of the great sagas in the history
a great trilogy
of this podcast.
Yeah.
Like it's something that the first time you did it, I didn't actually expect you to go. Like, I was encouraging you. I was like, dude, you have to do this
Right.
just for the story alone. But then I really didn't expect that it would become a recurring thing, that it would happen again and then again. And now it's happened thrice, 3 times.
Yeah, for whatever reason, like I don't get asked to do it a lot, but like once a year, it just like comes up randomly, and like the guy that like CJ
Just hits you up.
hits me up. It was like, hey, I need you to work a gig. I'm like, all right, I'm there.
Stripper CJ.
Stripper CJ. Yeah,
And-
I was CJ again. I'll let you know.
Oh, so you didn't do your own.
No, I didn't come up with my own name.
I don't know if you saw, but we got some suggestions from the good people on Patreon.
I didn't see Patreon, but someone DM'd me on Instagram and gave me like a list of names.
None of them were worthy. Or
Well,
you just didn't feel like busting one out this time.
he just sent it to me today, so I couldn't like use those. Also,
okay,
like
yeah.
the person that booked it, like I said, like CJ is gonna be like your server or
Oh,
whatever.
so you can't show up and be like, I'm Soak Rider, which was one of the suggestions from Patreon.
Also, like, guys, I think it just has to be like a regular ass name. It's not like, you know, like like an actual stripper name, like fucking Cinnamon or some shit like that. Like,
Yeah,
it has
yeah.
to be like a real person's name. So I think that's
like Ryan,
yeah, like Ryan. Yeah, that's a good like
Rowdy Ryan.
Rowdy Ryan.
So you
yeah.
can't have an adjective in there?
I mean, I guess you could if you want to spice it up a little bit, but I think you have to like have like a genuine name. It can't be like a pun. Like someone sent me like Girth Brooks and like all those like.
Somebody said your name should... Kade's stripper name should be Jared.
I can go by J-Bone.
See?
There we go.
That's an idea. Anyway, we'll get part 3 of the Stripper Kade saga this week on Patreon. We're very excited. And honestly,
I'm so excited to talk about it. Like I
can't
had
wait.
a crazy ass weekend. Like it was a lot.
yeah, your Saturday on the whole. One thing we can share with people before we talk about it on Patreon is that before you went and worked this event dressed as a scantily clad manservant with cufflinks, you went to a pool party.
Yes,
So I'm assuming you were inebriated already.
I was. Yes.
And then that's one thing to know about Stripper Kade. He doesn't work sober.
No, never have showed up to work sober.
He does not work sober at all. So, yeah, it's going to be a good
And
one.
yeah, I'll go into like the details about the pool party on Patreon as well, because yeah, it was just like a whole day of just like craziness.
Yeah,
that
I was
got
on your
into.
Instagram story just shaking my head like, oh my God, what the fuck?
I'm so excited. It's gonna be a great episode.
If you want to work bachelorette parties wearing little more than a loincloth like Stripper Kade, you better be in good shape. Today's sponsor, FitBod, can get you there. From a core that won't quit to arms worth flexing, FitBod is the perfect companion to keep your exercises fresh and hold yourself accountable with. With your personal goals and focus, FitBod customizes every workout and adapts as you improve to avoid plateaus on your journey. Whether you are a seasoned gym goer or just starting your fitness journey, FitBod is right for you. I've done 216 FitBod workouts, and during yesterday's workouts, one of my movements that was included was handstand push-ups. And at 37 years old, I'm not doing handstand push-ups alone in my garage. Fortunately, one of my favorite FitBod features is that if you come across an exercise you're not comfortable with, the app allows you to simply replace that particular exercise with another one that hits the same muscle group. Another one of my favorite features is that if you come across an exercise you're unfamiliar with or you don't know how to do, the FitBod app provides you with videos from multiple angles of an expert doing that exercise so you can see exactly how it's done. On top of that, the FitBod app provides you with a text description of each movement, so you're never lost. Before I started using FitBod, I did the exact same workouts every week for years, and that mundane repetition wasn't really doing shit for my body. I plateaued hard. Since I started using FitBod, though, I've transformed my body, added like 20 pounds of muscle, and can honestly say I'm in the best shape of my life. Plus, I've completely avoided dad bod so far, which is huge. FitBod is the future. It has everything you wish those other apps had. Honestly, it's been one of my favorite and most positive additions I've ever made to my life. Maybe my favorite sponsor this show has ever had. FitBod is an essential part of my life. No exaggeration. Add FitBod to your workout essentials. Join FitBod today to get your personalized workout plan. Get 25% off your subscription or try the app completely free at fitbod.me/Ross. That's fitbod.me/ROSS. Now it's time for another edition of Insane Headlines of the Day, a recurring segment on our show that I hope is self-explanatory. Our first headline, Chuck E. Cheese pulling plug on animatronic robot band for good. Kay, did you go to Chuck E. Cheese as a kid?
Actually, I've never been before.
Never been to a Chuck E. Cheese?
Yeah, very sad. There wasn't any around us.
Didn't have them in Indiana?
Well, there were some in Indiana, just like not near me. We had like, bowling alleys and arcades and stuff like that.
What was like the most popular birthday when you were a small child? And I'm talking like 5 to 10 years oldish. Could your brain even go back that far? Mine barely
I'm trying
does.
to remember like the names of places. Like one place I think was called Ben and Ari's.
Okay.
So that was just like an arcade place, and
Just
they also
straight
had,
up arcade?
and they had putt too.
Oh, nice.
And then that place got like shut down, or like they just like closed or whatever. And then they opened up a bowling alley called Pinheads, which also had an arcade as well, but no putt. So
Putt-putt
those
got
were like
sacrificed.
those were the two places I went to like as a kid for like child's birthdays.
We did like roller rinks.
Yeah.
Chuck E. Cheese. There was a place called Discovery Zone that was basically just a massive, like, the part of Chuck E. Cheese, or like when you go to McDonald's, the one that has like a kids play area with all the tubes and the slides.
Mm-hmm.
Discovery Zone was just a massive one of those.
Okay.
Just a ton of ball pits, a ton of tubes. There were always kids getting stuck and lost in the tubes, and you could just hear like screaming children. It was actually
just banging on the
and then
glass.
then there's a fucking grown man like crawling through the tube to try to save their child who's in there screaming and lost.
Yeah.
A lot of that we did.
We had a place called Sky Zone. It's just like a big like trampoline
place.
Yeah.
See, I never went to one of those. My stepdaughter goes to like the trampoline places pretty regularly. They're badass. I went with her once, and they're very fucking cool. I wish I had gotten to go to those as a kid, but I don't think that really existed in Houston when I was growing up in the 90s.
Yeah, late 2000s, early like 2010s when that started to become a thing, I think.
Newer edition for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But we had some places that were a big combination of these things that would have like go-karts, putt-putt, and arcade.
Yeah.
Like there was a few of those, I don't remember what their names were.
Yeah, I feel like all of those places, it was either like a go-kart place, a putt-putt place, or a bowling place, and then they also just like had arcades attached to them too.
Yeah. But Chuck E. Cheese was definitely a regular spot, during my very early years for birthday parties in particular. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot of memories from like pre-10 years old. Like I just don't remember that much specifically about my like early childhood. But I do specifically remember sitting in Chuck E. Cheese at a table and watching this freaky animatronic band perform while I'm eating cheese pizza at someone's birthday party. Because it was terrifying. The band is a terrifying thing at Chuck E. Cheese. Have you seen what they look like?
I've seen the the bands and stuff, and I've seen the commercials for Chuck E. Cheese growing up, and I was like bummed that I never got to experience that.
It was pretty tight.
Yeah.
And their arcade was solid too. I played a lot of like the Ninja Turtles arcade game at Chuck E. Cheese in my formative years. But yeah, this is a story. I'll read you some from Billboard.com. It was under music news, which is funny to me.
Well, I mean, it makes sense though.
Yeah, I guess.
They are a band.
Yeah. It says, to the likely delight of parents everywhere, as well as some seriously freaked out kids, the Munch's Make-Believe Band is headed to the scrap heap. And I had no idea that that's their band name. The Munch's Make-Believe Band was their band name. So in one weekend, we get two very important pieces of musical news. One, Oasis is back together.
Okay, I've been seeing this on my Twitter.
People are freaking out.
I have no idea who the fuck Oasis is.
Yeah, this is probably before your time.
Okay.
And these two brothers, essentially, Liam and Noel Gallagher, or maybe Gallagher is their last name. Let me make sure that I have their names correctly.
Yeah, okay, they did Wonderwall.
Yes, there you go. Wonderwall is Oasis. But the Gallagher brothers. Basically, the long and short of it is these two dudes are British. Mm-hmm. They formed this like British pop rock band, Oasis. They dropped, I think, 2 albums. If I could be wrong, don't freak out on me, Oasis, super fans. But they were a phenomenon. Like they took over across the pond, in Europe. Huge hits, some of which infiltrated, American radio as well. Like I remember hearing Wonderwall on 94.5 The Buzz in Houston all the time. 94.5 The Buzz. radio stations are so fucking cheesy. And yeah,
dude, and like that's the thing with like all the radio stations had like their taglines.
Yeah.
Like I remember mine like for like the rap channel was like 96.3 blazing hip hop and R&B.
hell yeah.
I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, that's sick.
I think at least in every major city in the United States, there's at least one hip hop station that's blazing hip hop and R&B.
It's always blazing the hip hop.
They've got to blaze it. But yeah, so Oasis is back together. Unfortunately, Munch's make-believe band is falling apart. To continue reading from this article, it says the animatronic group that has been a staple at the Chuck E. Cheese pizza and arcade chain for 4 decades is going into a permanent deep freeze by the end of this year due to changing tastes among the ball pit set. According to the New York Times, the mechanical animal band, fronted by singers Chuck E. Cheese and Helen Henney, with Jasper T. Jowls on guitar, Mr. Munch on keyboards, and Pascali on drums, will be removed from all but 2 locations, one in Los Angeles and one in Nanuet, New York, which I'm assuming is like the first Chuck E. Cheese or some shit.
Yeah, one of them has to be like the first
Why
one.
the fuck Nanuet? I've never even heard of Nanuet. N-A-N-U-E-T. Anyway, of the chain's more than 400 U.S. locations, those are the only 2 where the band will remain, in what CEO David McKillips described as its most aggressive transformation to date. It says the band, known for its stilted movements and blinking, shifty eyes, will be replaced by giant TV screens, digital dance floors, and trampoline gyms. Just a few years after the chain temporarily closed a number of locations during the COVID-19 pandemic, followed by filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in the summer of 2020.
Didn't they also like try to sell their pizza on DoorDash or something too during COVID?
During COVID, there was a couple of different Chuck E. Cheese related stories that we ended up covering. That was one of them. They were like trying to push, like people were going to fucking order Chuck E. Cheese pizza, the most generic
and they like try to lie
pizza.
about it too and say it was like from a different place.
I think they were rebranding it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like putting it in different boxes. And then I think there was something related to the bankruptcy that we covered as well. But McKillips, the CEO of Chuck E. Cheese, which is also just like, how do you get that job? That's an absolutely hilarious company to be CEO of. But he said, kids are consuming entertainment differently than they were 10, 20 years ago. Kids really of all ages are consuming their entertainment on a screen. So from what I'm reading here, they're going to take out the band and they're going to put in giant TV screens, which
will have what on them?
I don't know. Fucking probably Miss Rachel or some shit. One of these like children's entertainers that you're not familiar with because you don't have to be yet. But also digital dance floors and trampoline gyms. So
or maybe they might like still have like the band, but like it'll be animated
and like not
so it's
terrifying.
not as freaky.
Yeah.
Because they still have like the dance floor and everything. So you gotta, they gotta keep the band.
It's a different experience because part of the allure of Chuck E. Cheese when I was a child was like, will one of us be murdered by these terrifying animatronic beings that are performing for us? And when they say shifty eyes, that's just like they programmed the eyes to just do this.
Yeah, just like
back and forth across the room, panning back and forth across the room. And it was really
it's like it's just scanning for its next victim.
Yeah, dude, it was fucking awful. It's like the Terminator.
And then he just like locks eyes on you.
Stops.
Like,
the eyes freeze. Mommy, I want to go home.
It's like you keep moving around. It's locked on.
Yeah, it was a fucked up experience. A lot of kids my age, a lot of grown-ups now my age have trauma from when they were kids sitting in these fucking rooms watching this band perform. It says
I'm surprised it like lasted so long too.
40 years. It's crazy.
Because like everyone's we're like this is like creepy as fuck.
They're just now getting around to it. This has been a joke for like literally decades. It says, for now, the company is not saying what will happen to the hundreds of animatronic figures once they exit the stage more than 4 decades after Atari co-founder Nolan Bushnell had the brainstorm to match a pizza restaurant with then novel video games. I had no idea the co-founder of Atari, Nolan Bushnell, was one of the people behind Chuck E. Cheese. It says in a 2017 interview, Bushnell said he was originally inspired by watching the animatronic animal show in the Tiki Room at Disneyland, tasking his engineers with coming up with a mascot for what was then called Coyote Pizza. And then after mistakenly buying a rat costume and briefly considering the name Rick's Rat Pizza, Bushnell went with the friendlier name Chuck E. Cheese, Charles Entertainment Cheese, for the chain that opened its first outlet in May 1977 in San Jose, California.
I love that's his real name. Also, so he thought he was buying a coyote uniform or mascot
It's
thing,
like, yeah.
and then it ended up being a rat.
And it's like, this was pre-internet.
Yeah.
So this is obviously what I'm about to say is not what happened. But it's like he got drunk and high. He got on Amazon. It was like, that's a coyote.
Yeah.
Ordered it, and it showed up, and it was a rat. He was like, fuck.
And then, great name, Rick's Rat Pizza.
Was that like the last of his money, though? He was like, fuck, we got a rat instead of a coyote.
Yeah, I can't just send that back, get a different one.
No return policy, I
guess
suppose.
not,
But he's like,
yeah.
I don't want to buy any more costumes. Fuck it, we'll go with Rick's Rat Pizza. Who in their right mind goes and eats at a Rick's Rat Pizza?
Everyone's going to think that there's rats in their pizza. Like
That's a terrible name. Absolutely terrible. Thank God he went with Chuck E. Cheese.
I'm sure there's another universe that has Rick's Rat Pizza.
Yeah,
and they're
one of the
still
alternate
thriving.
timelines
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
in the multiverse.
Yep.
It says in the decades since, the restaurant became a staple of affordable children's birthday parties, even as the band has spawned dozens of memes, as well as inspiring the 2023 horror flick Five Nights at Freddy's, in which a security guard at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza battled numerous animatronic characters, murderous animatronic characters, I mean.
Numerous murderous
Yeah.
animatronic characters. So yeah, the Five Nights at Freddy's, actually it was a game first.
Yeah.
And then I did watch this movie. I never played the game or anything. It's too scary for me. I'm like, I don't fuck with that. But I was like, I'll dive into the movie. I was trying to get into horror a little bit.
It got a lot of buzz.
It did. And the people that love the games hated the movie, I think.
Of course they did.
Of course, yeah. But I thought it was fine. It wasn't the scariest thing ever, but I liked it. It was cool. But definitely I can see where they got their inspiration from.
It's kind of like a stoner horror comedy, right?
A little bit, yeah.
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 It feels like Five Nights at Freddy's was sort of the nail in the coffin, and the Chuck E. Cheese CEO was like, all right, we have to move on.
Yeah.
We have to get rid of these animatronic bands. I just desperately need to know what they're going to do with the animatronic nightmare bands, because if they've got hundreds of these, I'm assuming they're going to be up for sale.
Yeah, they can't just be back there collecting dust, or else
You can't scrap them.
No.
You can't throw them in the dumpster.
No.
These are iconic.
That'd be a terrible way to go out, yeah.
Yeah, I will get a new credit card just to buy one of these, even if I can only afford one animal.
Which one are you going? I mean, you have to go with Charles Entertainment Cheese.
I kind of want Mr. Munch on the
Mr.
keyboards,
Munch.
because Mr. Munch was apparently such a talented
I mean, that's who they named
pianist
the
that they
band
let
after.
him have the band, Munch's Make Believe Band.
I need to
You know?
see what the band's looking like.
Coincidentally, my stepdaughter last week, she comes home and she tells me that she went to a Chuck E. Cheese with her dad. And I was asking her, I was stoked because I was like, oh my God, it's like a big part of my childhood that I can relate to her over. I was like, well, were there video games? Did you play any of the video games? And she said, no, there weren't any video games. And I was like, what the fuck? Because that's like half of Chuck E. Cheese,
Right.
literally the arcade. It's like, okay, did you see the Animal Band? And she was looking at me like I was insane. Like, God, this dude's lost his fucking marbles. Like, what is he talking about? Animal Band. She's like, no, there's no Animal Band. So I was so bummed.
Yeah, what was there then?
I couldn't really get her to explain. I was like pulling, dude, this went on for 20 minutes. I pulled out my phone, I Googled Chuck E. Cheese, and I was pulling up different locations, and I was like, did it look like this? Did it look like this? And by the end of it, I was almost convinced she didn't even go to Chuck E. Cheese, that it was some other place. But then she tells me she hugged the mouse. She was like, I got to hug the mouse, and I was like, what?
Oh, she met Chuck?
She met Charles Entertainment Cheese himself.
Wow.
But he's like an updated, super friendly looking version, like not the mouse that we had at birthday parties when I was a
Yeah,
child.
dude, I'm looking at the one. I think Mr. Munch, if I'm correct, he looks like Grimace
A little bit.
a little bit. He's just like this big purple whatever. And they have the old pictures of them, and yeah, dude, they look terrifying.
Yeah, he does look like Grimace. He's dinosaur Grimace, basically.
Yeah.
He's a combination of Grimace and a dinosaur.
Yeah.
But
And then
dude, yeah.
they got this stereotypical Italian pizza maker on the drums. And then they got Chuck E. Cheese. And then
The dude that looks like Mario is the Italian stereotype. Yeah.
And then they got a girl duck maybe. looks like, and then like
like a platypus or some shit.
yeah, and then like a dog in like a cowboy outfit or something. I don't know. Just very very weird, but yeah,
What is
just
it called?
imagine just
Munch's-
having that fucking Mr. Munch just in the studio with us.
Yeah,
I would definitely think that like it was haunted when I was like here by myself. Like I'll see it like move its eyes or something. Like I don't know.
And the only other thing I can remember about watching this animatronic nightmare unfold was that like regularly
Would they like
one of them
malfunction?
would be broken.
Yeah.
And so it would be like and just stuck, and the rest of the band would keep playing, but there'd just be one that was like dead. So you'd have all these kids around the room like, "Mommy, what happened to Mr. Munch?" You know, or like, "What? Why isn't Chuck moving anymore?" And parents having to explain like he malfunctioned. You know, there's like sparks like shooting out of his fucking side or whatever. But yeah, dude, I guarantee you they spent an ungodly amount of money in the 90s repairing Munch's
absolutely.
make-believe bands across the country.
Yeah.
Just a mess.
I feel like it's like the McDonald's ice cream machine. Like it's always broken.
Always
like every time
broken.
you go to Chuck E. Cheese, like one of the animatronics are
Yeah,
gonna
there's a dude up there
just
mid-performance
bust
with
it, yeah.
WD-40 just like pumping it into the side.
Did they
of one
have
of these
bangers
things.
though? Like, did they like have a bunch of songs, or like was it just like one song over and over again?
I honestly couldn't tell you. I think I suppressed that part of the memory. It's just the fear of tracking their eyes really overrode everything else. But it's a new era, you know?
Yeah.
To see that Chuck E. Cheese is moving on from
Who kn-
Munch's
yeah.
make-believe band.
Who knows? Maybe down the line they can do like a reunion tour or something, get the band back together.
Yeah, just like Oasis.
Exactly.
They're selling out every stadium they're fucking scheduled in, man. It could be a huge thing for them in like 20 years.
See that like no one's gonna miss the Chuck E. Cheese band right now or the Mr. Munch's band, but like a few years down the road, people are gonna be wanting them back. They want.
Yeah, it's like that saying,
Oh yeah, that's. Was it like?
that I wish I knew I was in the good days when I was in them or whatever.
Yeah. Or like you don't
never-
know what you had until it's gone. Yeah.
You don't miss it until it's gone or
Yeah,
whatever.
whatever.
It's like a combination of those
There's
three
like-
things. One of those. It's like that, you don't really realize.
You just said like three different things in one.
I would also note, if you don't know, I'm not going to do a segment on it because I'm not well versed enough to really dive in. But like, if you don't know the story of Oasis and their breakup, these two, the gist of it is that the two brothers, one of them was writing all the songs, and the other one is the vocalist singing all the songs, and they fucking hate each other. Like the most hilarious big brother little brother relationship of all time. Very stereotypical, but like not something you see. Like they hate each other so much that they forfeited millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars over the past like 20 years or however long it's been since they broke up the band. But they're constantly chirping at each other, even like on Twitter and shit, like calling each other cunts and morons and like all these British idioms. But if you have the time, it is a really funny rabbit hole to go down. I went down it this weekend and just looking at all the different things that Liam and Noah Gallagher have said to each other over the years and watching their interviews. And there's like a couple of good documentaries. Our lawyer Brandon suggested one of them to me. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but like, yeah, the story of Oasis is pretty wild, pretty unbelievable, and very, very funny when you get into the bits about how much these two fuckers absolutely despise each other to the point that they couldn't even hold it together to just get paid off of the couple albums that they did that were mega hits.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's what happened here too with Mr. Munch's band. Like there's just like some beef internally with the band, and like they just had to break up.
Yeah, you think like you think Jasper T. Jowls and Pascali just couldn't get along?
Yeah, or like
Maybe it was Helen Henney.
yeah, Helen Henney, like hooked up with Mr. Munch when she was dating Chuck E. Cheese. You know,
Yeah.
kind of like a Fleetwood Mac situation.
Oh yeah.
One of
Didn't Fleetwood Mac? Didn't they
were like all
bang
fucking
each
other.
other's
Yeah.
wives?
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
then
Like
still got back together and like figured it out.
yeah, weird. That's also another weird like story.
Crazy
with
music
bands,
story. Yeah.
Which I don't know like the full details to, but like I've heard things like it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
They're all fucking each other. It seems like.
Well, Fleetwood Mac. This is what we're doing today. We're just talking about classic bands.
Yeah, I'm down.
Munch's make-believe band, Fleetwood Mac, Oasis.
Yeah.
Covering all our bases here.
Just all-time bands.
Next headline. Australian employees now have the right to ignore work emails and calls after hours. So this is a story from Reuters. I mean, it's been covered on every outlet. I'm going to read you some from Reuters. And I just assume it's pronounced Reuters. I've been saying it that way my whole life. I'm probably wrong.
Go for it.
But it's Reuters. Y'all know the routers? Yeah. It says, is your boss texting you on the weekend? Work email pinging long after you've left for home? Australian employees can now ignore those and other intrusions into home life thanks to a new right to disconnect law designed to curb the creep of work emails and calls into personal lives. The new rule, which came into force on Monday, means employees, in most cases, cannot be punished for refusing to read or respond to contacts from their email or from their employers outside work hours. Supporters say the law gives workers the confidence to stand up against the steady invasion of their personal lives by work emails, texts, and calls, a trend that has accelerated since the COVID-19 pandemic scrambled the division between home and work. The changes add Australia to a group of roughly 24 countries, mostly in Europe and Latin America, which have similar laws. It says to cater for emergencies and jobs with irregular hours, the rule still allows employers to contact their workers who can only refuse to respond when it is reasonable to do so. And it says determining whether a refusal is reasonable will be up to Australia's industrial umpire, the Fair Work Commission, FWC, which must take into account an employee's role, personal circumstances, and how and why the contact was made. And essentially, after judging, they can apply fines to the companies. That's the way this is working. Now,
so the employee won't get fined. It's just
no,
okay.
I think the employee can file a complaint.
If
they won't stop blowing me up
on the weekend
for reasons that are not worthy of blowing me up.
CJ didn't make it into work today. Can you come fill in for him?
Right.
If I don't respond, but they keep asking me,
or they try to punish you.
For
hey, you didn't respond to that text at 9 p.m. on Friday night. Mm-hmm. You're fired. You could go and there'd be some recourse there, some way, shape, or form. But it is really interesting this concept, just because
it's kind of crazy that they made this into an actual law.
Well, I think it has to be. I mean, it's a problem. And in different lines of work, it's a much bigger problem than others. There are probably lawyers listening who are like, fucking, that's hilarious. Because certain jobs, especially if you're in big law, you're getting hit up at all hours of the day. And it doesn't matter if it's a holiday or what the fuck. You're expected to be readily available pretty much all of the time if something comes up. Obviously, there's doctors and nurses and shit that have certain versions of this. But I think in a lot of normal corporate jobs, even in our job in content, it has become more commonplace that you receive emails and texts and shit pretty much whenever something comes up. And I agree with the column here that it's COVID-19 and what happened in 2020 and to 2021 with the work from home stuff becoming a big deal. It did further blur the line. It's the thing about never having a regular job that I've been most jealous of. When you're in the content game, it's not a 9 to 5. It's not even a 10 to 6. It's just kind of a thing that if you're running brands and you're in a startup life especially, I've only worked at startups in my professional career, and there is no off switch, which is devastating to your mental health. Which I learned after years and years of doing, and I do a better job at this now than I used to of turning it off on the weekend or making sure I'm not on my fucking phone or checking my email, to the point that now it's actually a detriment because I just don't check my email, period, which isn't good because I miss things. But all that is to say, I think the concept of a healthy work-life balance was kind of even further lost as a result of the pandemic, and we were all I think the general working public was distracted by the idea of work from home becoming this huge deal. So we thought we won something. Things got better for us as a result. Working from home kicks ass.
And making your own schedule and everything.
Yeah, but then on the other hand, I think we kind of lost the fact that it did blur the line between companies and employees even further on when they can reach out to them and ping their phone and hit their email inbox and text and that shit. It's not good. It's not good. So as a small business owner who's at the helm of a startup, I definitely understand the need to be able to hit people up if like something comes up and like shit has to be taken care of. But also as somebody who worked at a startup for 7 years, I understand how stressful it can be to never feel like you're off the clock. So good for the Australians.
Yeah.
Fucking Australia, I suppose. This will never happen in the United States. No, this is our culture is built around the hustle lifestyle.
Yeah, that grind boy
at this point.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. I will say you do a good job of not texting me about work stuff after hours.
Well, I've also just learned that if it's the weekend or after hours, you just won't respond.
That is also true. But like, I mean, we'll still like text about like, I'll like send you ideas for like, segments or something.
Yeah.
But that's not, like, oh, hey, you need to do this like get this video done like right now and like stuff like that. Like,
yeah, fuck that, dude. I don't want to encroach on anybody's me time, because if you don't have me time, you'll just slowly lose your mind, like me. That's what I did. Mm-hmm. That's how I got here. Anyway, cool news out of Australia. I think this is we got 2 more headlines. Here's one. Lonely, sexually frustrated dolphin may be attacking swimmers in Japan, researchers say. And there's an alternate headline from the New York Post. Horny, lonely dolphin blamed for attacks on beachgoers in Japan.
Yeah, that first headline, I'm like, I'm pretty sure they know that it's the dolphin at this point. I don't know if there's a maybe involved here.
It says from the New York Post, a lonely dolphin has been blamed for a spike in attacks on beachgoers in Japan, with experts warning the aquatic animal may be lashing out due to sexual frustration. And I spent probably a good year on this show warning people about dolphins, how horny they are, and how they need to be stopped.
Yeah, freaky ass dolphins need to stay their ass inside.
That's exactly That's exactly right. And it says now more than 45 people have been injured in dolphin attacks in Wasaka Bay, about 200 miles west of Tokyo, since 2022. And after examining photos and videos of those attacks, one maritime expert told the New York Times the same male Indo-Pacific bottlenose dolphin could be the culprit behind the terror. The director of Echizen Matsushima Aquarium in Fukui said the same animal is likely also behind 16 attacks off beaches near Mihama and Suruga that have taken place since July 21st. The dolphin may be exhibiting mating behavior, Matsushima said, adding that the creature was seen trying to, quote, press his genitals against people, end quote, in 2022 and 2023. Even so, Matsushima noted that many of the beachgoers were bitten after approaching or attempting to touch the animal. So, like, people wandering up to the dolphin, being like, oh, pretty dolphin. And then he's like, get over here. Let me fuck you. Just a horny, lonely dolphin with no real social
graces. Has no companions out there in the
all alone.
The big ocean.
Got abandoned by his pack.
That's a bummer.
His squad.
Sad. So lonely dolphin.
Yeah.
What was the wasn't there like a marine biologist or like some like zookeeper person that like helped dolphins get off?
I think she was giving the dolphins acid, LSD, and jacking them off. Yeah.
Yeah. Where's she at?
This is the thing about where is she when you need her? But that's the thing that people don't credit masturbation enough as a safeguard against sexual violence, because these dolphins, they don't have hands.
No, they
can't crank.
They just have fins or flippers or whatever.
And their flippers aren't long enough to reach.
Yeah, they're like the T-Rex.
The dolphin peen and rub it to completion, So they're out there just like, fuck, what do I do?
No one's rubbing their blowhole.
What are you going to do, hump a coral reef?
No, that one doesn't feel good.
A rock? No.
That won't get.
You're going to wait for some moron to try to pet you and then just go off on their fucking thigh or whatever, like a dog, like a horny dog. But yeah, thank God we have hands. That's all I'll say. Because the humans, we have enough problems with horniness and crime.
Yeah, if we couldn't.
Imagine if we couldn't crank. Whew. Be a lot more weird headlines, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, there's more. It says, Putu Mustika, a marine researcher at James Cook University in Australia, told the newspaper that dolphins can unintentionally harm humans when acting out mating behaviors due to their extraordinary strength. Low-key dolphins are very, very strong.
Yeah.
People don't think about that. It says, quote, dolphins, when they are mating, can be very wild, she said, adding that dolphins lunging on top of a human could be a sexual act, and that this particular dolphin was seemingly a, quote, horny, lonely dolphin. Thank you for that, quote, Putu. Yeah.
Do they say, like, how they know it's just, like, the one dolphin? Because he's putting in a lot of work here. Like, he's traveling a lot.
From what I can tell, the photos and videos they have collected, they're like, yeah, that's him. But they all kind of look the same, dolphins, you know?
He just has that look in his eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he has like a prevalent scar on his head or something.
Right, yeah. Distinguishing feature
Like
that
son of a
separates
bitch.
him from all the other
it's
dolphins.
like a 69 tattoo. Just right on his forehead.
Oh. Also, wait, so like are people like this is happening like in the ocean?
Yeah.
Right. It's not like dolphins like come and land and you just like dry humping. No.
Okay. They don't have legs for that.
They don't. They don't. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But if they get horny enough, watch out, because maybe they just flop on shore and don't care that they're gonna die for lack of water.
Mm-hmm.
They just got to get that nut.
Gotta get that nut off.
Dangerous out there in the ocean. The ocean is a dangerous thing, folks. Respect it and respect the dolphins, especially the horny ones.
Be scared of it, honestly.
You really don't know what's gonna happen out there.
No.
Speaking of being horny, our last headline comes from the world of online dating apps. It's a surprising one. It says, U.S. military's Tinder ad in Middle East raises eyebrows. Now, I saw this story and I was like, what the fuck? From the Washington Post. This warning appeared online last week in Arabic beneath pictures of U.S. warplanes. Do not take up arms against the United States or its partners, it said, noting that America will, quote, protect its partners in the face of threats from the Iranian regime and its proxies. And to underscore the message, Central Command is fully prepared and ready to deploy F-16 and A-10 aircraft currently in the region. It says, as fears grow of a wider conflict between Iran and its proxies and Israel and its backers, the warning, apparently aimed at young, disaffected men in the Middle East, may not have been that surprising. What raised eyebrows was the platform the warning was on. Tinder. So basically, and you can Google if you want to see, let's just put like U.S. military Tinder. They set it up to where these ads are being served to people on Tinder in the Middle East. So you're just pulling out Tinder like, oh, let's see if there's anybody that I want to swipe right on. Is right good? Swiping right is good. If I want to swipe right on. And then getting hit with an ad, I guess if you didn't pay for like the premium Tinder.
Right.
But the ad is the U.S. military threatening you. Being like, don't fuck around.
Don't fuck with us.
Or you're going to find out.
Yeah.
Which is just a bizarre, like that's nothing will take your boner away quicker than a direct threat from the U.S. military that they're going to use F-16 and A-10s on you if you fuck around. It says the ad on the U.S.-based dating app, which gave the world the phrases swipe right to approve a match and swipe left to reject, has raised fresh questions about the U.S. military's online information operations, which are aimed at influencing the views of overseas audiences and countering what the government perceives as misleading narratives from foreign adversaries. It was an explicit threat that the Pentagon would take action if Iran or its proxies threatened the United States or its ally Israel, an extraordinary warning, one that some experts saw as ham-fisted, and a reminder that American forces helped bring down scores of Iranian drones and missiles in an April attack. Central Command, who I think is at the Pentagon, if I'm not mistaken, declined to comment, saying it generally does not discuss information operations. The Pentagon had no comment on the specific post, but separately, a defense official told the Washington Post, quote, broadly speaking and as a matter of policy, the Department of Defense does conduct military information operations in support of our national security priorities. These activities must be undertaken in compliance with U.S. law and Department of Defense policy, and we are committed to enforcing those safeguards. So after publications started reaching out to Tinder to be like, yo, y'all are running U.S. military threats against Tinder users in the Middle East, Tinder removed the ad. And Philip Fry, is Philip Fry the name of the character in Futurama?
Maybe.
Futurama.
Never been a big Futurama guy.
Yeah, he's Philip J. Fry.
Wow.
The
Crazy.
Fuck? Great job, brain. Philip Fry, a company spokesperson, said that it, quote, violated our policies on violent and political messaging. So they pulled him off Tinder.
So, and they have no idea like how it.
Oh, I mean, clearly it was us. It was the, whoever runs these psyops for the Department of Defense was like, I know how we can fuck with these Middle Easterners. We'll just start throwing up ads on Tinder saying like, if you screw with us, we'll bomb you. Which just like
It's crazy because you're
this
just
is what
like,
they use our money on, by the
Yeah.
way. This is where our tax dollars go to. For everybody who's like, inflation and taxes and not. This is the kind of shit that they're doing.
yeah.
Running bootleg ads on Tinder in the Middle East to scare people out of being
If people are just going on there to like,
anti-American.
trying to get their nut off. No, not trying to end up like a
Fucking horny attack dolphin.
Yeah, a lonely, sad dolphin. Yeah,
Horny, lonely dolphin.
yeah. This would never happen on Hinge. No. Mostly because I don't think they have ads.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think Bumble does either. Actually, like, I'm still on Hinge, but like I've tried the other two like a couple months ago, Bumble and Tinder. And Bumble, not great. Like, it's fine, but like Tinder is an absolute shit show. Just like so many bots and stuff, and like just not great.
Dude.
Great people on there.
Dude,
You're so lucky that you like missed this way of dating.
I feel very fortunate that I never did this. Even after my divorce, I was like, I can't do it.
No.
I couldn't bring myself to do it. There's already like my experience working in, online content my whole career and having to be on social media as much as I am. There's something really dehumanizing about just the internet in general. The online dating version of it is truly some dystopian, futuristic nightmare shit where you're just like, yes, no, just swiping people away. No,
and then you
yes,
say yes, and then you don't even respond to them or say anything. It's just
you got a match.
Cool.
Followed by like the same generic fucking small talk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the best. I love it so much.
Oh God, yeah, dude. I don't. One of our mutual friends, Taylor, recently told me he just like fucking deleted all the apps. He was like, I'm out. I was like, dude, good for you.
Yeah, everyone says that too. It's like people who say they're gonna quit nicotine or vaping.
And
they're
they
like,
just never do.
Yeah,
or they
then
keep
like
coming back.
Yeah, then they're back on like a month later.
3 weeks later. Yeah.
I'm like, oh wait, I thought you were done. You're here again. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's like we've gone too far, and now the dating apps have been around for long enough that nobody remembers how to actually just meet people in public, which was always a huge challenge. Like pre-dating apps, like in college and shit, when I was younger, it was obviously it was still difficult to meet people. Like you'd be in a packed bar full of people your age, all drinking, and there for the exact same purpose for the most part, just to have fun and find somebody to fuck, and then you still wouldn't pull it off.
Yeah,
because it's hard. And I think when dating apps came out, everybody was like, yes, finally.
Yeah, I see this cute girl at the bar. Now I can like swipe right on her.
Yeah,
and she's going to want to talk to me. Yeah.
Now there's an entry point.
Yeah.
And it's like,
it's
mostly women being bombarded by horny nightmare men who are just like, have no idea what the fuck to say to a person. So, yeah. But anyway, at least on our dating apps, we're not getting ads being threatened by the military of other countries. That would be a real turnoff. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's it for insane headlines. As I speak, we are drawing ever closer to escaping the summer heat and entering the crisp air of fall. Alas, there are at least a couple more weeks of facing down the smoking hot sun here in Texas, which means it's incredibly important still to stay hydrated and keep your body loaded up with liquids to fight the heat. Fortunately, today's episode is brought to you by Liquid IV. Liquid IV hydrates you with benefits like electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients with 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, plus 8 vitamins and nutrients in a single stick. It's clear why Liquid IV is the #1 powdered hydration brand in America. Liquid IV is as easy as it gets. You simply tear open one of these convenient little packets, you pour it into 16 ounces of water, shake or stir, depending on your preference, and enjoy the hydrating power of Liquid IV with a refreshing beverage that tastes fantastic. Taking care of yourself is important. Keeping yourself hydrated is a vital and crucial part of taking care of yourself, and Liquid IV is here to make sure that hydration is easier than ever to achieve. If you're like me and you're sometimes too busy or too forgetful to remember to drink enough water every day, Liquid IV makes getting your daily hydration in simple and more delicious. You simply tear, pour, and live more. 1 stick plus 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone. 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink. 8 vitamins and nutrients, non-GMO, free from gluten, dairy, and soy. No artificial colors or sweeteners. 4 delicious sugar-free flavors: white peach, green grape, raspberry, melon, and lemon lime. We got the old green grape on the desk here in the studio today. As everyone knows, Bolin Media is just literally overflowing with liquid IV at our office at this point. A zero sugar hydration solution with no artificial sweeteners, clinically tested to hydrate more than water alone. Turn your ordinary water into extraordinary hydration with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code ROSS at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code ROSS at liquidiv.com. College football returned this past weekend with Florida State falling to Georgia Tech, in Dublin, Ireland. Weird setup.
Yeah. Go Noles, baby. Hell of a start.
Yeah, that was honestly pretty predictable. Not that they would necessarily lose.
Yeah.
But like I checked the line for this game, and it was Georgia Tech plus 10.5, meaning Florida State was favored by 10.5 points. And I was like, they're playing in fucking Ireland. It's one of those examples. Like, if they're playing...
The NFL does this a lot, too. They go to, like, different countries and will play a game.
And you can pretty much throw the normal expectations out the window at these neutral sites. Mm-hmm. But especially if they're over fucking seas in Ireland or Germany or Mexico City or whatever the fuck.
And this is, like, well, they call it week 0, but, like, the first week of college football.
When everything is kind of a coin flip. Like, I love taking big lines week 1 and taking the underdog because, like, nobody really fucking knows. Nothing has been established yet. It's a clean slate, and I think a lot of people went into this looking at this game on the schedule like, oh, Florida State's going to mop Georgia Tech. Well, I won my first 2 bets of the year on Georgia Tech plus 10.5 and the under 55, and I felt like a fucking genius.
Love that.
Especially because there was zero research done. My favorite type of sports betting is just
gut feeling.
Totally off of feel. And literally what I just explained, I was like, nah, it's in Ireland, plus 10.5. Nah, it's in Ireland. I'm taking the under.
Yep.
And both of them worked out for your boy, but also just the lead up to it was insane. Like, you had the Pat McAfee show in some Irish pub in Dublin where he was black the fuck out drunk. And that was so entertaining. And there was like all this pushback and drama in the media world and the sports media world, all these people upset, like, Pat gets $85 million and he's just showing up to work drunk. Like, he was drinking before the show even started. Bro, ESPN let him do the show in a pub. They knew what he was going to do.
They knew he was going to get drunk.
And the reason he did what he did is half for the headlines that he ended up getting out of it. So, like, I think first of all, I know there are a lot of Pat McAfee haters. I am not one of you. Kade might be, because I've made him watch too much of it.
That is a good reason why I don't like him. But, like, I mean, he played for the Colts. I liked him when he was, like, our punter and everything. Like, he's an entertaining personality.
He has good takes.
Yeah.
He has good takes for the most part.
Some bad ones. But, yeah, like, I mean, he's entertaining. And, like, yes, he can be a lot sometimes.
He can be a lot.
But, like, if I don't want to watch him, I'm just, like, going to, like, no, like, on College Game Day. Like, I'm not watching College Game Day. I'll do the one on Fox because, like, it's just, like, too much. I don't need all that Pat.
It can be too much. This one, it wasn't. He wasn't too much in this one because he was too hungover.
It's pretty even.
I turned on Game Day for like 20 minutes. He was talking like 1/10 the amount he usually does, and he just looked like he was about to die. Also, I don't know what's going on with Pat's hair, but they got to get a different hairstylist for him because he just looked like a hungover rooster up there on the fucking College Game Day set, sitting next to Nick Saban.
Right.
By the way,
yeah,
who they
very
also
knowledgeable about the game. Yeah,
they brought him into the pub too.
Yeah, that's right.
Saban
and his wife was there too, I think.
Yeah, Pat like brought her out on made her dance with him and shit. It was so fucking ridiculous. Like I'm mostly tuning in for the entertainment aspect of Pat McAfee and like it's just so different than traditional sport. It's like what Barstool was trying to accomplish, right? And what Barstool would have achieved if their ESPN relationship had not gone so south.
Yeah.
ESPN basically pivoted and was like, well, Pat can be our guy that brings in the drunken college students. And that is what he does.
That's exactly what they've done.
That's the audience he is aimed directly at.
And, like, I know they did it last year. I don't know if they're doing it again this year. But, like, he would be there, like, days before, like, on campus.
Going out to the bars, meeting people.
They would do the show. They would have just, like, a giant crowd. Again, like, all dudes.
Yeah. 99.9% swinging drunken dicks. Yeah.
So, yeah, I am curious to see if they do that again. But yeah, no, Pat's fine. Like, I enjoy him. I think they replace Corso with Saban, maybe. Is that what it's looking like? Because I don't think he was there.
I didn't see Lee Corso.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's been made to be like an official thing that he's finally retiring.
But I think Saban is like on the show full time now, maybe.
Yeah, so Corso is not like officially out yet.
Okay.
Saban is a full time.
Okay.
Yeah, he is an addition. Like that's done.
Yeah.
But Corso did not go to Dublin. I'm assuming because he's a literal fucking mummy, and that travel would have been really difficult for him.
Yeah.
But dude,
just to roll him out and like put a mascot head on, like yeah, that's a lot.
I'm not joking. I've been joking about Lee Corso needing to retire since I was in college. I was, 15 to 20 years ago, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like he should have been out then. I was like, they got to get this guy out of there. Look at him. He's just he's so old.
Yeah.
And he can't really keep up anymore.
Right.
It's kind of, you know what? It's almost exactly like what just happened with Biden.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, I don't think he should be doing this anymore. He can barely talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to be an ageist. I love Lee Corso. But it makes me uncomfortable tuning in on Saturday mornings and seeing them roll his corpse out there. And I'm just like, dude, let him go.
It's like, all right, time to put the mascot head on.
Yeah,
you're going to pick.
You got to let him retire like you let the fucking Chuck E. Cheese band retire. Like, it's over.
It's over,
It's time for a new era.
Mm-hmm.
Saban is in now.
Yeah.
Like, do we really need this grandpa out there? Like,
Pat can do the mascot thing.
Yeah, like that'll be interesting. Who becomes are they going to carry that tradition on?
Yeah, passing the torch, or like do they just get rid of it completely and like try to come up with a new thing? Which that'll be.
I think you got to keep it going.
Yeah,
and you're probably right. Pat is probably because you need a silly ass person to do it.
Right, and he's the silliest one up.
And he's great at trolling too.
Yeah.
Like he just how
like
Corso would always pump fake the crowd.
Yeah, he'll like start to put the mascot head on, but like not so fast, and like throw it away, and then like put another
pull
one
out the
on.
Oregon duck and put that on, and then just like fucking sit there. And he'd just sit there,
just
for
back and forth
minutes with his arms up, back and forth. With the duck head on.
The crowd going crazy or like booing him because
the show would just carry on though, and he'd just be sitting fucking duck
Show's
head.
Over. They're packing up now. He's still up there with the
he can't see
the mascot.
He can't see shit. He doesn't know what's happening. Anyway, I mean no offense to Lee Corso. I'm just like I can't believe he should have been given like a Kobe Bryant style.
Yeah, he needs
do a retirement tour type thing, and then be done with this. Like fuck's sake, there's like 6 other guys up there. We don't need him anymore. It's fine. And they found like this new version of Game Day, largely because of Pat McAfee, and additions like Saban. That like we're all ready to move forward. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, it was interesting watching on Saturday a little bit just because I was like, oh, Pat can't talk. He's so you just see when somebody's like went too hard last night and they're trying to hold it together.
Yeah, no, that was literally me last week.
That was literally him on international television though, like, which is a fucking hilarious thing to me. Anyway, we got a ton of games starting this evening.
Yeah, tonight.
Thursday at 5 Central our time. We got games starting up. Several games on Friday, so it's like the next 4 days, basically. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. What is that, 5 days?
Yeah.
That we've got college football games. You've got several games Friday, a ton on Saturday, obviously. LSU and USC on Sunday. Florida State, Boston College on Monday. So no NFL games this weekend.
Right.
I think this is the first time they've done this, where preseason ends and then there's a week off before the regular season starts for the NFL.
Yeah.
They're basically like, it's Labor Day weekend, right?
Right.
Is it Memorial Day? Labor Day? I always mix
weekend,
those two up. It's Labor Day weekend. College football is starting. Y'all can have this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
College football is big weekend. Y'all can have it. And then NFL starts the Thursday after that.
Right.
So we got like Ravens, Chiefs to kick off the NFL season next Thursday, a week from today. Packers, Eagles on Friday. Full slate of games Sunday, including my Texans against Cade's Colts.
Big one, week 1.
It's a very fun week 1 game.
I think it's
in Houston.
No, I think it's in Indy, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll pull it up. But yeah, Lucas Oil Stadium.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know when they play later on, but low-key, we should try to go to that if that's a possibility. That'd be fun.
I want to say it's the final game of the season again, man.
Damn, week 1 and week 18.
Oh, never mind. It's week 8.
Oh, okay.
Week 8 in Houston. So that's October 27th. I mean, we could try to go to that. It'd be fun as shit.
Yeah, good time. Went to Houston 2 years ago when they played the Colts. I think it was like week 1, too.
Thank God we aren't playing the last game of the season against each other again. That was 2 years in a row was too much.
Yeah,
too much stress.
too much on the line.
Too much. Yeah, we play the Titans.
One
this
was
week.
for like a top draft pick, and the other was to go to the playoffs. It's just too much.
It was too much. And somehow that one that I really wanted to win is the one that ended up getting us C.J. Stroud when we lost. The NFL is insane. Anyway, I'm happy to have football back is the point, because we were in this window where it was just Major League Baseball, and I can't.
It's pretty boring. Like we had the Olympics for a couple of weeks. That was
helped.
fun.
That helped.
Yeah.
Just too much baseball, though. I've been watching way too much baseball. I'm losing my mind. I need football. I started watching tennis over the weekend because I was so fucking bored.
That's when you know you're in a rough spot. You're watching tennis.
It's like the U.S. Open right now, I think. But yeah, football is back. We did it. We survived to another football season. Huge for all of us. Congratulations, everyone. And that'll do it for today's show. Remember, Kate and I will be back tomorrow exclusively on patreon.com/Ross Bolin Podcast to share the saga, the continued saga, part 3, if you will, of Stripper Kade. Can't wait. Hit patreon.com/Ross Bolin Podcast now. Sign up for a 7-day free trial. You can check out the hundreds of exclusive ad-free episodes we've published there over the last several years. Enjoy that 7-day free trial. Enjoy this week's episode where we talk about Stripper Kade. Stick around to support our show and be a part of making sure the show can go on. Also, please support our sponsors by hitting the links in the description of this episode. This week we had Liquid IV at liquidiv.com. Use code Ross. You get 20% off? 20% off your first order. And of course, we also had fitbod.me/Ross, where you get 25% off your subscription, or you can try the app for free. Support our sponsors. They are the reason the show exists. To check out our other shows, you can go to bolinmedia.com or just simply listen to me talk for the next 10 seconds. If you're an F1 fan, Formula Bone, hosted by J-Bone, is back in full swing after the F1 summer break. First race back was this past weekend. It was an exciting one. Did not go as planned. Did not go as people suspected it would. Verstappen once again did not win.
Crazy.
And it was the home race for him, right? Was it?
One of them, I think. Yeah. I think it was the Dutch Grand Prix, if I'm not mistaken.
And he is Dutch.
He is Dutch, us.
Yeah. But Formula Bone is available on all the major podcast platforms, but most popularly on youtube.com/@FormulaBone, where we can watch Jared J-Bone Borislow give you previews and recaps of all the races all season long. All the information you need in the world of F1 you can get from Formula Bone, the largest American F1 content creator in the country. Huzzah, J-Bone. Formula Bone is the name of the show. Go subscribe on YouTube now. Banging the Can, if you are a Houston sports fan, is my Houston sports podcast, which has been on and off over the past couple months. But as we get into football season with the Texans and we get closer to October with the Astros, more Banging the Can coming down the pipeline. And of course, Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, our TV and film podcast hosted by me and Barrett Dudley, where most recently we covered The Bear, Season 3, and before that, House of the Dragon Season 2, and coming up in September, we're going to do The Penguin.
Just doing all the animals, aren't you?
That's what we're doing. We're doing the animals. Dragons, bears, penguins, oysters, clams, and cockles, available wherever you get your RBP. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at WRBolin. Mr. Orris, where can the people follow you?
You can follow me on all the social media platforms at Kadeorris. That's KADEORRIS.
This episode of RBP is presented by Bolin Media. Video of today's show was produced by Kate Orris and is available on youtube.com/@the-Ross Bolin Podcast. Until next time, remember, you are not alone. Peace be with you and also with you.